Why does the Philippines, a country of more than 7,000 islands, suddenly matter so much to two of the most powerful nations in the world, Japan and the United States? To answer this question, we have to start with geography, because geography shapes destiny, and the Philippines sits in one of the most important locations on Earth. At the heart of the Pacific, right on the edge of the South China Sea, the Philippines acts like a giant, unsinkable aircraft carrier, positioned between Asia and the Pacific Ocean, between trade routes and military choke points that could decide the future of world power. For Japan, whose economy depends heavily on imported resources and global trade routes, the Philippines is a shield that stands between them and potential threats. For the United States, which has long projected its power across the Pacific, the Philippines is not just an ally, but a strategic partner whose location could make the difference in any conflict in Asia. But the story goes deeper than just military bases or war games. The Philippines is becoming a key player in an unfolding contest that is reshaping the balance of power in the 21st century. The rise of China has created new tensions in the South China Sea. China has built artificial islands, expanded its naval presence, and claimed vast areas of ocean that are also claimed by the Philippines. For Japan, which relies on safe passage of ships carrying oil and goods through these waters, and for the United States, which has pledged to keep the seas open and free, the Philippines has become a frontline state in a struggle that could define the century. This is why both Japan and the U.S. are strengthening ties with Manila like never before. They are providing security assistance, building military cooperation, and investing in infrastructure, because they know that the Philippines is no longer just a supporting actor, but a central figure. But to truly understand why the Philippines matters more than ever, we must look at history. For the United States, the Philippines was once a colony, taken after the Spanish-American War in 1898, and it became a crucial base during World War II when American and Filipino soldiers fought side by side against Japan. Later, during the Cold War, U.S. bases at Clark and Subic Bay were among the largest overseas installations in the world, allowing Washington to project power across Asia. Even after those bases closed in the 1990s, the alliance endured, and now it is being reborn with new urgency. For Japan, the story is different but equally powerful. Once an enemy during World War II, Japan has transformed into a close partner. Japan has become one of the biggest investors in the Philippines, building railways, ports, and energy projects. Japan knows that a strong Philippines is a safer Japan, because instability in Southeast Asia could threaten its lifelines of trade. Both the U.S. and Japan understand that the Philippines is not just important for defense, but also for economics. The country sits on rich natural resources, from fisheries to minerals, and it lies along one of the busiest shipping lanes in the world. Every year, trillions of dollars of goods pass through the waters near the Philippines. Whoever controls or secures this region holds a key to the global economy. This is why Japan and the U.S. are not only offering military aid, but also strengthening economic partnerships. They are helping the Philippines build modern infrastructure, from highways to digital networks, because they see the country as a future hub for trade and technology. And let's not forget the people. The Philippines has one of the youngest and fastest-growing populations in Asia, with tens of millions of English-speaking workers. This makes it a natural partner for both the U.S. and Japan, which are dealing with aging populations and labor shortages. Filipinos already power industries around the world, from healthcare in the U.S. to technology support in Japan. By deepening ties with the Philippines, these two nations are investing in a workforce that could sustain their economies for decades. But why now? Why is the urgency greater today than ever before? Because the global balance of power is shifting faster than anyone expected. China's rise, North Korea's unpredictability, Russia's global maneuvering, and the uncertain future of international trade routes have all combined to create a storm. In that storm, the Philippines is the anchor. For Japan, losing access to safe shipping through the South China Sea could be catastrophic because over 80% of its oil passes through those waters. For the United States, allowing China to dominate Southeast Asia would weaken its role as a Pacific power and threaten its allies from South Korea to Australia. That is why U.S. forces are returning to Philippine bases, why joint exercises are expanding, and why Washington has declared that an attack on Philippine forces in the South China Sea would trigger its mutual defense treaty. And for Japan, this is why Tokyo has been supplying Coast Guard ships to the Philippines, offering defense training and supporting development projects. Japan understands that security cannot be separated from development. A strong and prosperous Philippines means a stronger regional balance, yet it is not only about great power rivalry. The Philippines itself is rising in confidence, taking its disputes with China to international courts, strengthening its own navy and air force, and deepening ties with ASEAN neighbors. Japan and the U.S. recognize that the Philippines is not simply a pawn on the chessboard, but a partner with its own voice, its own interests, and its own vision for the future. This is what makes the alliance stronger. And there is something else that often goes unnoticed: culture and shared values. The Philippines is one of the largest democracies in Asia. Its commitment to freedom, its ties to both Western and Asian traditions, and its openness to the world make it a natural partner for Japan and the U.S. In a time when authoritarianism is on the rise, when freedom of navigation is under threat, and when the rules-based international order is being tested, the Philippines stands as a symbol of what is at stake. And so the question is not why the Philippines needs Japan or the U.S., but why Japan and the U.S. need the Philippines more than ever. They need its location, they need its people, they need its resources, and they need its spirit. In the 21st century, no single nation can shape the world alone. Alliances and partnerships will decide the future. And in that future, the Philippines is no longer on the sidelines, but at the center of the stage. Imagine a map of Asia without the Philippines as an ally. For Japan, shipping lanes would be exposed, energy security at risk, and its ability to respond to crises weakened. For the U.S., so its Pacific strategy would collapse, its influence in Southeast Asia diminished, and its credibility with allies questioned. But with the Philippines as a partner, both nations gain strength, flexibility, and resilience. That is why investments are flowing, joint exercises are expanding, and leaders are meeting more frequently than ever before. The Philippines has become the bridge between two great powers and the front line of a new era of competition and cooperation. The truth is simple but powerful. The future of Asia cannot be secured without the Philippines, and the world is beginning to realize it. The Philippines may not have the size of China, the technology of Japan, or the wealth of the U.S. But it has something equally valuable: its location, its people, and its will. And those are things that cannot be replaced. This is why Japan and the U.S. need the Philippines more than ever, and why the coming years will prove just how central this island nation is to the destiny of the Pacific. If you've watched this far, remember the story is bigger than politics or strategy. It is about people, about how nations survive and thrive together, and about how small countries can shape the future of the world. Don't forget to like this video, share it with others who care about the truth behind global power, and subscribe for more documentaries that reveal the stories most people never hear. The Philippines is no longer just a place on the map. It is the key that could decide the future of Asia, and that is why Japan and the U.S. need it more than ever.